It has been a couple of months since my last layout build series video, but I am back, and I have some good progress done on the layout. Today's video is all about getting some much needed scenery done on this newish boxcar industry. The only real thing that's changed since my last video is the trees by my river scene. I did also pick up a couple of cool HO scale Toyota Land Cruisers, and these will fit really well with a scene that I want to make in the future, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So the first thing that I'll be working on is building a warehouse for this area of the layout. This is a newer Walthers kit, and it's a more modern style building. I picked this up at the RPM event in September for $56, which is a really good deal for this. The kit has a decent amount of pieces, and it also includes a nice sheet of thick paper cutout signs. And of course the classic Walthers instructions. After a quick sort of the pieces by color, it's time to prep it all for painting. The only thing that I will keep green is the small office that's included with this kit. I decided to paint the main part of the warehouse a light gray since my other one is already white. Next up is to paint the smaller details, and they all get stuck to some blue painter's tape to make sure that they don't fly away when I paint them. After giving everything well over 36 hours to dry, we are now ready to put this bad boy together. The base goes together just like some kind of puzzle. Before we do go any further, I must add all the doors and the details to the main wall panels. The nice thing about warehouses and building them is that they're not too complicated, and that's pretty much just because it's a shoebox. Here I'm doing some final test fitting before actually gluing. One hour and 14 minutes later, we have a standing warehouse. Next up is getting all the really small details prepped and painted. As usual, I like to use Rust-Oleum paint. Even though these are very small details, they actually really do make a big difference in the end. Here is where the building will sit on the layout. And of course there are still touch-ups and small details that I would like to add, but that could be done later on. We're now going to move on to working on this warehouse. I really like the way it looked here after moving things around, and of course this can be switched out with boxcars. You just have to peek over the building or maybe look at it at a different angle. The first part of scenery I'll be doing is the asphalt. This AK Terrains asphalt acrylic is pretty good stuff. And to the left is pop dot tape. And if you're wondering where you get the pop dot tape, you get it at the Dollar Tree. And recently I went there and they actually had some in stock, so of course I bought a couple packs. Before we do anything, we must first check to see if the warehouse is in a good spot, and we do that by running a boxcar by it. And then we outline the entire building to know where exactly to put the pop dot tape. Once that is done, I can now get some of that acrylic paste down. I'll be putting on a pretty thick layer, just so it's easier to work with, and it also adds a pretty nice effect once it's dry. It does look weird now, maybe like some kind of black cake icing, but bear with me because it does get better. As you can see, it's much more normal looking now, and because I put on a thick layer, the asphalt has some nice natural cracks. The bigger ones will get filled, and I will also be adding more paste to make sure it's all level. After it's all said and done, we can now remove all the tape to reveal those nice clean lines. Before I do remove these pieces of tape, I will be filling in that little rectangle with some Woodland Scenics gravel. This will add some nice variety in ground coverage. I'll be using the same water and Mod Podge mix to glue it all down. Now I can finally remove that last bit of tape. The building now can be placed to see what the next step is. As you can see, I will have to cut out a piece to make sure I have room for the stairs. Luckily, the thick layer of asphalt comes up with a little bit of effort. I will also have to cut out a part of it for this stairway as well. After marking down some cutting lines, I can easily use a hobby knife to get the clean cuts. Once it is cut, I can remove the little section of it by hand. Now we can place the building down to start the touch-ups and of course add more scenery. Stairs will get glued on, and I found a perfect spot for a transformer on the side of the warehouse. The reason why I cut out more than what was needed was so I could add some sand just to spice things up a little. I did also fill in this small area with some dirt, and that's pretty much just a combination of real dirt and grout mix. Here is what it looks like after a couple of days. The asphalt was sanded down with a light grit sandpaper so it looks a little bit more realistic, and I also added some gravel around the building just to fill in any gaps. The little green office was built, and it'll go here for now unless I do change my mind. I did also get the other transformers and the AC units for this warehouse completely built. Next, I decided on adding some white lines to the ground since I really did like it on the other layout. The white really pops with the black asphalt. Employees of the Warhammer warehouse now have a proper place to park their trucks. Some plants were also added to the sand in front of the stairs. They're just Woodland Scenic's prairie grass cut in half. They are really nice because you can truly just peel and place them. After adding some more details here and there, the scene has truly come alive now. And it is so much better to look at this versus the pink foam that I've been looking at for months. Of course, things may change, I might move things around, and there is so much more detail to add in the future, but I think we have a nice base for any future ideas. Of course, I am open to any ideas that you may have, so please do leave those in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.